Now on 4 News Now at 6, Spokane's mayor is standing by the police chief. The calls for his resignation and what the city council is doing about it.
Things are warming up across the inland northwest. I'll let you know how warm we are expected to get in the days ahead.
Millions in funding could be coming to Spokane to help finish a decades-old construction project. What could prevent that from happening? And hear from a family who's been dealing with the construction in front of their home for years. You're watching 4 News Now at 6.
Another costly investigation is redundant. It is unnecessary.
Spokane's mayor voicing her support for the chief of police as the council considers a further investigation. Good evening, I'm Aaron Luna.
And I'm Kirsten O'Connor. Those complaints are coming in regarding Spokane's chief of police, Craig Meidel, saying he is showing preferential treatment to certain downtown businesses and business owners and not to others. Some activists are calling for him to resign. 4 News Now's Natalie Grant is live for us in downtown Spokane tonight, breaking down the latest details on this potential investigation. Natalie.
Well, Kirsten, Aaron, as you mentioned, back in December, the Office of the Police Ombudsman completed a report into these complaints against Chief Meidel. Now, several recommendations were then issued to the department because of this report, but the City Council says that more may need to be done according to City Code.
The Office of Police Ombudsman is not allowed to make conclusions about violations of city policy or law.
One investigation is done, but it may not be over for the recent complaints against Spokane's chief of police and his alleged unfair treatment and communication with downtown businesses. While activists continue to call for justice, the City Code is calling for the mayor's office to take further action and launch another investigation.
And what it says is that any complaints against the chief of police shall be directed to the mayor and investigated by Human Resources. We've gotten lots of complaints around this behavior to us.
But the mayor is saying that one is enough.
Another costly investigation is redundant, it is unnecessary, and erodes the work of our independent ombudsman.
During a Monday address, Mayor Woodward stood by the chief and his actions, saying it was good community engagement on his part.
This is what I expect from our police chief. This is a whole organized attempt to disparage our police chief and our police department.
But despite political opinions, the City Code still stands and questions are unanswered. Is another investigation necessary?
I think it's important that we have an understanding of just how comprehensive his look was.
Now, today's City Council meeting was just a discussion on this resolution, and no decisions have been made just yet. The council now has to decide if they want to put it up for a vote on a future date. And it's important to note that this is just a resolution, meaning that it's a suggestion to the mayor to follow the city code. The mayor has made it clear now if this resolution does or does not pass, she has no intention of launching another investigation. Reporting in downtown Spokane tonight, Natalie Grant, 4 News Now.
Natalie, thank you. It's a soggy start to the week. A lot of rain on Sunday, but the clouds are expected to clear out, and we're going to get a lot warmer.
Meteorologist Matt Gray is in for Kristen Knight. How warm are we talking here, Matt?
Oh, something we haven't seen in a long, long time. I expect us to get at least into the 70s, and we'll talk about the other part of that, the at least part, coming up in just a little bit. But really good odds for hitting 70 degrees or warmer once we get to Thursday and through the entirety of the weekend, really when things start to heat up around here. So this is going to be pretty much every day we're going to be setting the, hey, this is the warmest day of the year so far. This is the warmest day of the year so far. You can see here by Friday, we have our forecast of now into the mid-70s. We have adjusted upwards since really throughout the weekend. And for our forecast today, we keep kind of adjusting those numbers upward and upward, following the trends in the computer models. As for right now, well, it's definitely not all that warm. Temperatures in the 50s, and we're continuing to see some showers moving across the inland northwest. Places like Rockford and Freeman getting a little bit of rain right now in Spokane County, as well as the Meade area. And we just saw some rain cross over Green Bluff as well. Things have been a little bit quieter, at least this late evening, or not late evening, but early evening in North Idaho. But I do expect at least a couple of sprinkles sprinkles as we head through the next couple of hours before things start to ease off. Really, it's not going to be until after the sun goes down, and then whatever juice the atmosphere has left is going to, well, dissipate fairly quickly, and we'll be dry for a really extended period as that warm weather begins to show itself. We'll talk about just how hot we could get around the region, including if we could see some 80s coming up.
Matt, thank you. The gag order in the murder of 4 University of Idaho students will remain in place. That's according to the state Supreme Court.
The order prevents law enforcement and attorneys involved with the case from releasing any information about the murders of Xana Kernodle, Madison Mogen, Kaylee Gonsalves, and Ethan Chapin. A group of news agencies, including 4 News Now, tried to fight the gag order, saying it was overly broad and violated the First Amendment. The Supreme Court ruling saying in part those news outlets should have gone to the magistrate court first before taking this to the Idaho Supreme Court.
The ruling goes on to say the news outlets have forgotten that the Supreme Court is the, quote, last resort in Idaho, not the court of first resort. Brian Koberger, the man accused of the murders, will have his preliminary hearing in June.
Investigators are trying to determine a cause of death for a man whose body was found in a house fire in Latah County. The body was found Saturday in a home in Troy, Idaho, north of Lewiston. The sheriff's office says at this time foul play is not suspected in the death or the fire. We will update you as we learn more.
Governor Jay Inslee will be signing 3 bills aimed at preventing gun violence in Washington tomorrow. One will make Washington the 10th state to have a ban on the sale of assault-style weapons. Another would require safety training and a 10-day waiting period before the purchase of a transfer of a gun. The third bill would pass legislation to, quote, strengthen accountability of firearm manufacturers and retailers.
Tension surrounding the hiring policy at Whitworth University right now. Students want to change the language in the hiring policy to include protections for LGBTQ+ faculty and staff,
while others are urging the Board of Trustees to leave it alone. Tonight at 6 o'clock, Peter Choi joins us in studio and explains why students want the change. Peter.
Guys, the students tell me they want to create a safe space for all groups on campus. I spoke to student-led organization Signal Safe in Space today, who tells me the LGBTQ+ community is left out. And more than 1,600 people, including students, staff, and faculties, have signed a petition supporting reform of the policy.
There are so many beautiful things about this school, and this has been a real shadow over our time.
The organization says in the current faculty handbook issued by the university, LGBTQ+ community is not included as a protected class. It says it wants to change this policy and include protections for LGBTQ+ faculty and staff.
So let me ask you this. Why is it so important for you guys to change the hiring policy?
A lot of students come to Whitworth because they believe there's going to be a diversity of opinion and that this isn't a homogenous place. And so it's really important that we're not silencing a particular part of our community.
Found really wonderful faculty, staff, friends to support me and come around me as a student. But I have also heard from many queer students the exact opposite of that.
A different petition was launched online in March, urging the Board of Trustees to take no action against the current policy to meet the mission of the university. So far, more than 300 people have signed the petition. We reached out to the Whitworth University for comment. In a statement, the Selected Advisory Committee is examining the university's hiring language and will make recommendations to the board for consideration.
It's about making sure that LGBT faculty and staff know that they're welcome and that their livelihoods aren't at risk by attending and working at Whitworth.
And while on campus, I look for students and staff who would oppose changes to the current protocol, but I was not able to find anyone. Whitworth University tells me this issue is actively being discussed right now. However, there's no exact timeline for when the board will vote. In studio tonight, Peter Choi, 4 News Now.
Peter, thank you. Well, a moose decided to take a stroll just through a casual movie theater in Alaska.
Yeah, how it got in and how the staff managed to get it out. Coming up. And security experts are warning iPhone users are using a feature to lock you out of your phones. How to protect your phone coming up.
4 News Now on your time with Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. When
it's time to protect your home, call Everhart Painting, Spokane's premier painting contractor. Everhart Painting takes care of every detail and backs the results with their industry-leading warranty. Call today and receive their spring special for $500 off. Everhart Painting, your exterior repaint specialist.
Experience the film that started it all as a live symphony orchestra performs with the full movie on the big screen.
Second show added. Get your tickets now at ticketswest.com.
This is how legends are made. Chevy Silverado and new Silverado HD. Choose your own path with the #1 best-selling retail full-size pickup and see where it takes you. Find new roads. It's Chevy truck season. Get 0% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2023 Silverado 1500 pickups or get $2,250 total cash allowance on a 2023 Silverado with a turbo high output engine. See your hometown Chevy dealer today.
GMA Tomorrow is just wow with Jude Law and Jim Gaffigan and Dolly Parton live.
It's so good.
Plus tomorrow, a mystery guest is coming to GMA, and trust us, you're going to want to see this live on Good Morning America.
Chicago. Celebrating 25 years of Broadway Razzle Dazzle. The Associated Press calls Chicago the most entertaining musical of the decade. Paint the town again with Chicago the Musical.
May 13th and 14th at First Interstate Center for the Arts. Visit BroadwaySpokane.com.
Meet the future. A chef, a designer, and an engineer. All learning to save and spend their money with Chase. The chef's cooking up first with her new debit card.
Hungry?
Uh-huh. The designer's eyeing sequins, plaid. While mom is eyeing his spending. Nice. And the engineer? She's taking control with her own account for college. 3 futures, all with Chase. Freedom for kids, control for parents. One bank for both. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Do you have concrete floors that look like this? Let Everhart Painting floor coating specialists transform your floors with their multi-step coating system. The finished product is spectacular. Call Everhart Painting today and receive their spring special for $500 off. Everhart Painting, your painter for life.
Around the world tonight, hundreds dead, thousands more injured as rival militant factions clash around Sudan's capital city.
Special forces going in over the weekend to extract U.S. Embassy personnel and their families. Now the federal government is figuring out its next steps to help more than 16,000 Americans who remain in the area. ABC's M. Wynn has more.
As fighting between government forces and an armed militia group rages on in Sudan, nations from around the world are rushing to evacuate their diplomats and citizens out of the country. This as the Biden administration is hailing a dramatic nighttime rescue of nearly 100 American diplomats and personnel over the weekend.
And I determined that the deteriorating security conditions in Khartoum posed an unacceptable risk to keeping our team there at this time.
Officials say the daring mission included members of the Navy's Elite SEAL Team 6 traveling 800 miles by helicopter from Djibouti to the U.S. Embassy in Khartoum. Once there, the team was on the ground for less than an hour. The National Security Council saying President Biden gave the green light Friday after it was deemed safe and feasible.
It was very well planned and seamlessly executed.
But an estimated 16,000 Americans remain in Sudan, with the NSC now stressing conditions are not safe for a larger evacuation.
The safest thing for Americans to do is to shelter in place and to not move around too much of the city of Khartoum.
Tamir Mohammed's 2 children, dual Sudanese American citizens, stranded there with their aunt.
They have a nightmare. They said the military are coming, they will kill us.
Still, the U.S. says they're supporting dozens of other Americans making their way out via UN-led convoys by having U.S. reconnaissance drones flying overhead. It's the 10th day of the bloody power struggle between 2 rival generals, with more than 420 people killed and nearly 4,000 injured.
The Sudanese people are not giving up on their aspirations for a secure, free, and democratic future. Neither will we.
Despite U.S. efforts to get the 2 Sudanese military leaders to end the violence, officials say the fighting is not letting up. Meanwhile, a U.S. AID disaster response team has been deployed to help the ongoing humanitarian crisis. M. Wynn, ABC News, Washington.
And in our weather, we are expected to see much warmer temperatures. In fact, some of the warmest weather that we have seen in right about 6 months in the inland Northwest. We think it's going to be at least 20 degrees warmer than today by the end of the week. Maybe even much warmer. We'll talk about our chance for 80-degree temperatures coming up.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Findlay Downtown Toyota.
Liberty Park Greenhouse and Garden Center, same location and family owned since 1928. We're a full-service garden center and everything is locally grown. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for weekly deals. Liberty Park Greenhouse and Garden Center in Spokane's Perry District.
Home is where you hang your hat, snuggle up, hide out. Home is where you're with the ones you love. Home isn't just a place, it's a state of mind. At Idaho Central Credit Union, we're proud to call our communities home. And we're here with personalized home loans to help make your home dreams come true. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe home is where you make it. Experience the film that started it all as a live symphony orchestra performs with the full movie on the big screen.
Second show added. Get your tickets now at ticketswest.com.
Welcome to Coeur d'Alene Honda, home of the lifetime warranty.
Well, hi. Hey, I'm looking for a new Honda, but I heard some dealers are charging outrageous prices.
At Coeur d'Alene Honda, we're not doing that. With us, it's business as usual.
That's a relief.
And we include a lifetime warranty at no additional cost.
We are a family-owned dealership, and our reputation is far more valuable than overcharging our customers.
We want to be here for you today, tomorrow, and in the future.
And don't forget about our lifetime warranty.
Call today for our available inventory and check out our website at cdahonda.com.
Winning the $56,000 Fred's appliance upgrade at Northern Quest could change a lot about your kitchen. But eating your feelings in front of the fridge at 2 a.m.? Oof, that's still on you. Don't miss the $56,000 appliance upgrade at Northern Quest every Thursday in April. Get 1 free entry daily with your Camus Rewards card and play for even more. Details at northernquest.com.
Liberty Park Greenhouse and Garden Center, 3 generations in the same location since 1928. We have a great selection of geraniums and nonstop begonias, annuals, perennials, vegetable starts, and hanging baskets. We have it all. Liberty Park Greenhouse and Garden Center in Spokane's Perry District.
Well, it's not Wildlife Wednesday, but I've declared it Moose Monday.
Seems appropriate.
Yeah, this moose just strolling through a movie theater in Alaska. This is cute. That woman does not seem like she even notices, or maybe she's taking a video with her cell phone. That's what most people would do, right?
That's what I would do.
This happened when employees propped the door open to let some cool air in. Staff says the moose followed its nose and began munching down on a bucket of popcorn. That's what he's doing. Thought that was an ice machine. That makes more sense.
Trying to cool down.
I do love popcorn at the movie theater. Anyway, I guess someone left it in a trash can and they shouldn't have let it sit there for too long.
That's even using the ropes correctly.
He moseys right out of there.
Very nice of him. Has a movie pass.
All right, Matt. You can take it.
Yeah, I gotta take it away here. So I guess, so Kirsten, you know, we've spent time in Florida. Alligators are everywhere. So I guess moose are the alligators of Alaska. Is that the idea?
Yeah,
let's go with that one. Now let's talk about some things that don't involve letting cool air into your house and letting a moose walk in, because hey, it's gonna be pretty warm here over the next couple of days. Last time it was 70 degrees way back in October, mid 70s, even longer, early October. We're coming up on that 6-month mark right now. Luckily, we're not going to get too much further than this before we warm up. I think a lot of people have been waiting for this. Temperatures right now in the 50s, yeah, 70s, maybe even some 80s in our future, not too long from now. But we still have to get this wet weather out of here, and there are still a few showers trying to linger around, but things have significantly weakened here over the last hour. We'll take a little zoom in. You can see in the Country Homes area as you head north towards the Colbert area as well. We're starting to see just the very last vestiges of some sprinkles trying to get out of there, and just coming off of the Pion Prairie as well. And then in between Tico and Fairfield, we're also seeing just a little bit light sprinkles. I think at this point, we're pretty much done with the radar, and we will be for, well, probably at least a week before things start to get a little bit more active once again. That brings us to Tuesday. A little bit of a cooler start than what we saw this weekend. We only were dropping down into the 40s. We'll get into the upper 30s. It's not going to be for very long. You won't need the jacket for too long either, because we'll be in the 50s fairly quickly. I expect us to pop up to right around 60 degrees. We'll see some building clouds in the afternoon. Not expecting some showers, though. Just fair weather clouds, and overall a really nice looking spring Tuesday. Some folks in the upper 60s, places like Moses Lake, places like Lewiston. We'll see some, well, many parts of North Idaho only getting up into the upper 50s. Don't worry, the warmth is coming for you as well. It's just going to take a little bit. So let's fast forward. Let's get into Thursday, because that's really when the high pressure is going to strengthen, and we're going to really start to see our temperatures climb in a big way. Across North Idaho, lots of upper 60s, right about 70 across Spokane County. Might see a few areas in the valley pop up into the mid-70s as they tend to do, and then you can see mid-70s around places like Moses Lake, and close to 80 degrees in the Tri-Cities. By the way, they're talking about maybe mid-80s or even hotter than that going into the weekend. Speaking of 80s, we expect the hottest day of the week to be on Saturday, and at least with our computer model runs today, about 50-50 chance of us getting up to around 80 degrees for Saturday. I haven't gone quite that warm. I want to see a couple more days of consistency with this, but just something to keep an eye on. We might be quite warm, maybe warm enough to turn on a fan or a window AC for the first time this year if we do get up there. It's still going to be pretty warm either way, as we talk about so often, a shock to the system when we see these sudden temperature changes. And yeah, high of 77 after we were in the 50s today. Just a few days for us to kind of pull out the shorts, pull out the flip-flops, get comfortable with our new reality here, because I don't know how much cooler we're going to get after this. We do drop down for Monday and also get a small chance of rain for the back end of the weekend and early next week. I'm going to talk more about that in the 6:30 hour and what we could see as we begin the month of May.
Matt, thank you. Well, new at 6, WashDOT announced it's shutting down its 511 information line. It's the number you could call to get things like traffic updates, crash alerts, mountain pass conditions.
The department says they're shutting it down because the number of people using that service has dropped dramatically. In 2009, more than 2 million people called the 3-digit hotline. In 2022, those numbers dropped to below 302,000. That's an 86% decrease, according to WashDOT. Now, WashDOT says all the information 511 provides can be found on their website. The number will be deactivated on May 19th.
Still ahead, millions of dollars could be on the way to help finish the North-South Freeway. How that money will be used and the timeline for when the decades-old project is expected to be completed. That's coming up on 4 News Now at 6.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
Horizon Credit Union is dedicated to giving back because your path is our purpose. Banking at Horizon does good in the community. Discover the difference. Visit us today at hzcu.org/discover.
At Eastern Washington University, students and faculty work side by side to restore a lost prairie and decrease our carbon footprint. Composers are writing music to help us understand how salmon migrate. And urban and regional planning partners with cities to gather the data they need to reduce homelessness. An interdisciplinary education that gets real about the real world, that's the new thing. It isn't a tagline. It is Eastern Washington and you. Apply today at ewu.edu.
Bill's Heating and Air, your locally owned, factory direct and voted #1 HVAC contractor, wants to become your go-to heating and air conditioning company. We offer free estimates and next-day installs. And now, we will beat any and all written estimates from any other licensed contractor. Yeah, you heard right. We will beat any other written estimate. Oh, and did I mention we have a 10-year parts and labor guarantee? Call now for your free estimate.
Looking for some fun? Then come play for the day at the Coeur d'Alene Casino and discover new ways to win big inside the new Discovery Den, the first and only video game testing room in the U.S. with many of the top manufacturers in the world under one roof, where you get to play them first and decide which games stay and which ones don't. You will set the trends for the future of gaming, only at the Coeur d'Alene Casino.
Welcome home.
This is how legends are made.
Chevy Silverado and new Silverado HD. Choose your own path.
with the #1 best-selling retail full-size pickup and see where it takes you. Find new roads. It's Chevy truck season. Get 0% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2023 Silverado 1500 pickups or get $2,250 total cash allowance on a 2023 Silverado with a turbo high output engine. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Horizon Credit Union is dedicated to giving back because your path is our purpose. Banking at Horizon does good in the community. Discover the difference. Visit us today at hzcu.org/discover.
4 News Now is brought to you by Healthcare Pathways Discovery Night.
Around the nation, there's an emerging threat to Apple users everywhere, and victims are left permanently locked out of their accounts.
According to the Wall Street Journal, some people are reporting their bank accounts were drained after thieves gained access to their apps. CNN's Mike Valerio explains how it works and how you can protect yourself.
It's a feature meant to protect you.
A method for Apple to be able to verify that you say who you really are.
But the Wall Street Journal reports thieves are exploiting recovery keys to lock you out of your account.
They can just generate a new recovery key, basically take over all of your information, your data, any of your apps.
For it to work, thieves have to know your passcode and have physical access to your phone.
A lot of the times it's in crowded areas where the thieves are, looking for people that are easy marks, easy targets, and they will watch them pull out their phones and watch them enter in their passcodes.
In a statement, Apple says it's always investigating additional protections against emerging threats. In the meantime, here's what you can do to protect yourself. Apple's screen time setting allows parents to set up a secondary password to help control how long their children are on the phone. You can use that to add a second layer of protection on your own device. Also, back up your phone to the cloud often. This will help you recover your data if the worst happens. And most importantly, guard your passcode when in public by covering your screen or using Apple's facial recognition.
You want to think of it as like your house key, because you're almost letting the people in. When the thieves steal your phone, they're getting into your life.
In Los Angeles, I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
Fox News and popular TV host Tucker Carlson have agreed to part ways. It comes days after a more than $780 million settlement between Fox News and Dominion Voting Systems. Dominion accused Fox News, including Carlson, of making claims to viewers they knew were false, while privately expressing their doubts in internal messages. In their lawsuit, Dominion provided evidence they claimed showed Carlson texting with fellow host Laura Ingraham about a former Trump campaign attorney who repeatedly made claims of election fraud on Fox, saying, quote, Sidney Powell is lying, by the way. In a statement after the settlement, Fox News admitted no guilt, but said, quote, we acknowledge the court's rulings finding certain claims about Dominion to be false.
We have much more coming up tonight at 6:30.
We have a look at what Sacred Hearts Children's Hospital is doing to make sure kids don't fall behind in their schoolwork in tonight's Miracle Monday. Plus,
a surge of funding approved by Washington lawmakers for one of Spokane's oldest construction projects. I'll have the details coming up.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
I just don't think STCU could handle us. We've grown a lot.
Can I be frank with you? Not just because that's my name. Now, we've upgraded our tools, team, and bring a fresh perspective.
So what's your pitch?
Slow down a bit. Growth's great, but uncontrolled growth, now that can be dangerous.
And how could growth be bad?
You ever seen a 6-foot-tall third grader sitting on Santa's lap? It's weird.
This is some sort of reverse psychology.
You can't drive 80 miles per hour down a highway that's not finished. You don't want to eat a grilled cheese.
I would have stopped at the first one.
I didn't know where I was going with that anyways.
I get your point, but I don't need STCU to help us slow down.
True, but we're happy to offer strategy and advice until you do need us. Sometimes, what's best for you doesn't boost our bottom line.
Sounds like STCU actually cares.
We do. All right, 3, 2, 1. Feel like we've had a breakthrough here today. STCU Business. Partner up.
Chicago. Celebrating 25 years of Broadway Razzle Dazzle. The Associated Press calls Chicago the most entertaining musical of the decade. paint the town again with Chicago the Musical.
May 13th and 14th at First Interstate Center for the Arts. Visit BroadwaySpokane.com.
Hi, I'm Ron.
And I'm Shelley.
At Rosenberger Construction, we build some of the most beautiful custom homes in North Idaho.
Like our spectacular spec home, now for sale at the club at Rock Creek, Coeur d'Alene's newest private golf course filled with stunning natural beauty. Our custom homes are furnished and designed with you in mind.
For our clients looking for that unique, one-of-a-kind piece of furniture, we always recommend Consign Furniture in Liberty Lake.
From great rooms to dining rooms to master suites, Consign Furniture is sure to turn any house into a home.
Next, ET.
You, the whole team at ET, you've been amazing for us.
We're with an emotional James Corden. His final week of shows filled with star surprises and late-night fears.
I just don't want to become a meme. Do you know what I mean?
Plus, we're catching up with Nick Cannon.
I got my hands full.
Then, one-on-one with Carol Burnett, our flashback surprise for the comedy queen.
Oh, my heavens.
Next, ET.
Watch 4 News now at 6 and Entertainment Tonight at 7:30. Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
Let's take a live look tonight over Spokane. It has been a little rainy today, a little soggy to start the Monday, but there's a lot to look forward to this week.
Okay, yeah, let's skip right to the good part. Let's get over to meteorologist Matt Gray's in for Chris and Matt. We've been talking about 70s, possibly 80s.
Yes.
I don't want to jump the gun, but come on, give us something.
Oh, we are going to have some good stuff coming up later this week. And really, for the majority of the week, today is really going to be the only blemish on what otherwise is going to be some spectacular weather coming along. Speaking of that blemish, still a couple of sprinkles that I'm tracking on radar right now around the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area. Not much left with these as the sun continues to sink lower in the sky. You can see just some light sprinkles there, mostly in Spokane County, and also as a heavier shower to the north of Highway 291 in southern Stevens County that we'll keep an eye on here over the next 30 minutes. Should be fairly quiet as we round out our Monday, and then we'll wave goodbye to the rain for a while. We'll end up with some sunny conditions as we get into Tuesday morning, and except for some fair weather clouds developing, I think things are going to be very nice as we head into the second day of our work week. You can see some showers at the top corner of your screen, but they're going to be up in Canada, far away from us, and that's going to be the theme here for the next several days as high pressure settles in. And look what happens to the temperatures as a result of all of that sunshine. We'll be in the mid-60s Wednesday, 70s Thursday, and by the time we're getting ready to start the weekend, we're talking about mid-70s, and by the time we get into the weekend, yes, there may be a spot or two that gets into, or at least very close to, that 80-degree range. So that's something we are going to talk about, plus when we could see our next round of rain. I have that in your extended forecast coming up.
Matt, thank you. With the weather starting to warm up, you might be planning on maybe taking to one of the hiking trails across the inland Northwest. And one popular spot is Tubbs Hill, and that's in Coeur d'Alene. The city wants to remind people that biking's not allowed on any of the trails. It also encourages you to bring your four-legged friends with you, but make sure they're on a leash. If you want to give them a place to run freely, there's a dog park at the base of that park. Also, be sure to clean up after yourself.
The North Corridor project has been underway for more than 20 years. Tonight, it's acquired a significant amount of funding to help keep construction moving forward. Over the weekend, Washington lawmakers approved $160 million to be allocated to that project.
That funding came as part of the $70 billion budget approved for the state over the next 2 years. Our Jordan Smith joins us live from the North Spokane Corridor with the importance of this funding and the timeline when we can expect it to be completed. Jordan.
Well, there was discussion months ago by Governor Jay Inslee potentially cutting funding for this project. And with this proposed budget, that money will help keep this project moving forward as we inch towards a completion date. The North Corridor project is changing the landscape of Spokane. The backdrop of parks now filled with construction equipment, neighborhoods jammed with traffic, noise, and dust.
Sometimes it gets a little bit on you because you're trying to enjoy the backyard or whatever, and it's pretty noisy out there.
Dwayne Love has seen a surge of traffic and crashes since construction of the North-South Freeway began.
And we got trucks that go by the diesels, and they're very, very loud, and they wind down, you know.
They have to stop the traffic because of the construction, and it's rerouted a lot.
on it, which really hesitates you when you have to go to work or you've got an appointment.
It's been an adjustment to have this corridor constructed right next door to their home. And while this project has been in the works for decades, slowly but surely, progress is being made.
Everybody calls this kind of the mythical unicorn because it's never going to get built and it's always kind of in the stream, but it's coming and we're making significant progress.
Crews are actively working to finish this section of the corridor alongside Spokane Community College. They hope to be wrapped up by late fall this year. And the state approves funding for this project every 2 years. And as we get closer to the finish line here, we should start to see more and more money come through.
All of the projects for the North Spokane Corridor going to be under contract and construction probably sometime in late 2025, potentially early 2026.
In the meantime, the Love family is excited to see the final product and enjoy the benefits that come with it.
I'm glad to see that, the improvement coming on to reroute stuff for the alley. Maybe that will cut back some of the traffic out here and we'll have less car accidents out here.
Now, it should be noted that this funding isn't cemented in place quite yet. Governor Inslee still needs to sign off on this proposed budget. But crews tell me if funding can stay consistent, this project could be completed by 2030. Still a few years out, guys. Reporting in Spokane tonight, Jordan Smith, 4 News Now.
Thank you, Jordan. One bill that did not make it out of the legislature would have criminalized open drug use.
We expect the Washington State Legislature to produce a bill that will not decriminalize drugs, will provide measures for treatment, and will provide some sanction for those who fail to accept treatment. This is my expectation. It is the expectation of the people of the state of Washington.
Right now, Washington operates on a 3-strike system, meaning if someone were publicly using drugs, police are required to refer them to substance abuse programs before an arrest can be made. Governor Inslee expects a special meeting will be held in hopes to pass a new bill before July 1st. Next Monday, the Spokane City Council will vote on a new ordinance to address this issue. If passed, people caught using drugs in public in Spokane could face up to a year in jail instead of 90 days. Flames shooting out of an engine because of an apparent bird strike right after takeoff. ABC's Rena Roy spoke to a woman who saw those flames from her seat.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. We had a bird strike and an engine failure.
Terrifying moments on this American Airlines flight from Columbus to Phoenix Sunday morning.
Good time for you to review that safety braking card and seatbelt card.
A possible bird strike causing the engine to burst into flames. Marnie Callistad was a passenger on board during the chaos.
Many people started crying and going into tears because we just didn't know if we were going to make it or not, frankly. It was terrifying.
She captured it all on her phone, fearing the worst.
For some reason, I thought that would help show what happened to my family if they found my phone or whatever.
The plane eventually making a safe emergency landing back in Columbus. Experts say that kind of damage from a bird strike is uncommon.
Bird strikes are not rare. They probably happen almost every day to some commercial airliner somewhere in the United States. What doesn't happen every day is that it causes the kind of damage that we saw on this aircraft, where you actually see flames shooting out the back.
The FAA now investigating. And just a few days before, flames breaking out in the engine of an American plane from Charlotte to Dallas before takeoff, turning right back around while taxiing.
Everyone was trying to panic, but it was we couldn't go anywhere either. So I think that was the biggest scare.
American Airlines saying both incidents were due to mechanical issues. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Seattle Seahawks are set to select 2 new players in the first round of the NFL Draft Thursday. Coming up in sports, Alex Crescenti tells us what their thought process was just a couple days to go.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by STCU Best of Broadway, BroadwaySpokane.com.
You can prepare as much as possible, but whatever you imagine, something else will happen. Patty and I have been together since 1984. Patty got diagnosed with Parkinson's in 2012. Having a caregiver helps with still being in a relationship. There's all sorts of expenses. Renting the bed and the Tilton Space wheelchair. The money's going to be there, just like health insurance, and hopefully you don't ever have to use it. Walk Cares will help you take care of yourself.
Spring into action and take your adventures to the next level with Northwest Motorsport.
Fuel your next adventure at nwmsrocks.com/spring. Find the keys to your next adventure at Northwest Motorsport.
Home is where you hang your hat, snuggle up, hide out. Home is where you're with the ones you love. Home isn't just a place, it's a state of mind. At Idaho Central Credit Union, we're proud to call our communities home. And we're here with personalized home loans to help make your home dreams come true. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe home is where you make it.
There are a lot of ways to deal with a stubborn drain. Call us at Mainstream Plumbing. Our high-definition LED camera can go where no plumber's gone before, deep inside your sewer lines to find the root of the problem. Call 866-411-ZAP.
The spring clearance sale is on at R&R RV Center in Liberty Lake in North Spokane. Save thousands now on all 2022 models. Springdale travel trailers from $229 per month with 0 down. Cougar travel trailers from only $435 per month. Or save thousands on Cruiser Air fifth wheels. Don't let summer pass you by. Shop now at R&R RV in Liberty Lake in North Spokane. Online at rnrrv.com.
From R&R RV, your RV superstore.
The cheerleader, the team, the car passenger, all shot after making innocent mistakes. Now this guy. Next, Inside Edition, the forgotten victim, shot in the stomach after knocking on the wrong door.
I think they're acting out of fear.
Then, the world's greatest Hollywood extra. Look, he's everywhere. Watch the next Inside Edition.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Inside Edition at 7.
This fire involving an animatronic dragon at Disneyland caused the company to temporarily suspend certain effects at its resorts worldwide. Pyrotechnics are among the special effects featured in the long-running Fantasmic show at both Disneyland and Disney World. There were no injuries reported, and the cause of the fire is still under investigation. But I've seen that show before. It is not supposed to look like that.
A little spicy there at Disneyland. We are going to have some spiciness in our weather as well as we end up with some pretty warm conditions. In fact, there's even about a 50-50 shot of us getting close to 80 degrees on Saturday in the computers. So that's something we're going to be watching very closely, but it just shows you how big of a change this is going to be for all of us compared to the cool and somewhat wet spring we have had. You can see the yellow colors here. High pressure shows up, sticks around for the entirety of the weekend, and then some interesting things happen at the back end of this. We did get some clarity today on just how long we're going to have this warm weather stick around. Things are going to start to begin cooling off as we enter about this time next week. You can see off of the Pacific another storm system, but as it approaches, and we still have some pretty warm air sticking around here, you know, some winds out of the south. This is quite a thunderstorm setup, at least in my eyes for the moment. So that'll be something to watch as we head into Sunday night and into Monday as well. I got just a small chance right now, 20%, but certainly something to keep an eye on as our forecast continues to evolve and be updated in the days to come. But yeah, low pressure that's running up and down the coast, that's always a tricky little forecast that we got to keep an eye on. And temperature outlook for next week also starting to cool off on the coast. So certainly some more changes as we see lots of ups and downs here in the spring season. But hey, it's been a while. It's been almost 6 months since we've seen weather this warm, so that is going to feel great. As for this evening, temperatures staying in the 40s by and large. We'll have maybe another hour or so with a couple of sprinkles and temperatures in the 50s. Lows tonight in the upper 30s. Not going to be very chilly for very long. We'll warm up fairly quickly. In fact, we'll spend most of the day in the 50s. We'll be right around 60 in Spokane, upper 50s in Coeur d'Alene, upper 60s all the way down the Grand Coulee into the Moses Lake area and close to 70 as you work your way south to the Tri-Cities. Our first day of 70-degree weather, I'm expecting that to be on Thursday as this pattern really starts to get going by then. So 70 for Spokane. North Idaho, you're going to be close, but not quite there just yet. Same with just right across the state line there in Pullman. We'll wait until Friday to start seeing 70s pop up there. And then I think everybody's going to be at least in the 70s on Saturday. And that's when you're going to start to see the potential for some of those 80s to pop up, especially in the Columbia Basin. So here is the deal. Mid-60s for Wednesday, 70s start up, as I mentioned, on Thursday. Saturday, a toasty day that's going to feel like a kind of early June weather preview. And then we start to cool back down again with that, once again, potential, I think, for maybe having to watch out for a thunderstorm or two as we get into the beginning of the month of May.
Oh, it's already here. Thank you, Matt. When children get sick and they have to miss school, it can be a big stress for the families.
The hospital-based school program at Sacred Heart Children's Hospital tries to get kids the help they need so they don't fall behind in school. Sydney Charles dives into the program in this Miracle Monday report.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says that the first 8 years of a child's life can build a foundation for future learning, health, and life success. Although missing school can't be helped for some of the kids at Sacred Heart, the hospital still tries to make sure they don't miss out on a chance to further their education. From creating individualized learning plans, sending letters to schools, or tutoring, the hospital-based school program does it all.
Our job is to be advocates for these kids and these families who are really going through a major health crisis, and but also to encourage them to continue to work on their schoolwork if they're feeling up for it.
Every tool is to make sure each kid isn't left behind when they're a patient at Sacred Heart Children's Hospital.
Some of those kids aren't just here for like a week or two. They might be here for months, and we've even had kids here over a year. So it's a long period of time to miss out on school.
Since 2019, Sacred Heart has seen a 73% increase in its adolescent psych unit.
So that means more and more kids are struggling with their mental health to the point that they need to be hospitalized.
They say kids who struggle with mental health often fall further behind in school.
They aren't as anxious. If they've missed 3 or 4 weeks, they've now missed 3 or 4 weeks of school. And if they are doing that work while they're here, they don't miss that. And so when they go back, they aren't anxious about being so far behind.
But this program isn't just about doing schoolwork or homework. Sometimes it's just about having a person there to read or have fun.
You are so funny.
That's where the volunteers come in.
For me, it's fun. When she was teaching elementary school, I used to crash her classroom every once in a while and see how long I could hold kids' attention.
It worked.
It's still a thrill.
Mike says he became a volunteer at Sacred Heart after his own experience with the care and attention of the team. For Sherry, it's all about helping the kids to flourish academically while being in a challenging environment.
For me, it was to be involved in an opportunity that can create circumstances for kids in a hospital where they are maintaining their academics while they're absent from their normal educational setting. I think the most important part of the experiences is that we're just present and that we are sensitive to what need arises at that moment.
And we have some amazing volunteers who currently all of them are retired teachers, and they just have a heart for this demographic.
Right now, it's just Jen and Anna who head the program, but they're hoping to change that in the future.
We have plans and hopes of, growing our program, not only with staff, but volunteers.
In the future, they hope to open up a second classroom to help more kids and change more lives. If you'd like to support the Children's Miracle Network, you can find the donation page under this story on KXLY.com. 100% of your donation stays right here in our own community. Reporting in studio, Sydney Charles, 4 News Now.
Here's a look at ABC's primetime lineup tonight. It's American Idol at 8, followed by The Good Doctor at 10 o'clock.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
At your locally owned Ace, we've got exactly what you need, exactly when you need it, even if you don't know exactly what it's called.
A thingamajig. A whatchamacallit.
A doohickey.
Thingamabob.
A doodad.
Ace has a huge selection of nuts, bolts, plumbing, and electrical supplies in stock. And at Ace, our experts ask just the right questions to make sure you leave with exactly what you need. Whether it's a whatchamacallit or a thingamajig, come see us today.
Our priorities, they've changed.
Hey Lexus, play my music.
It's not just about getting ahead or the constant grind. It's about knowing what you want.
Watch for traffic.
And focusing on what matters. Welcome to the next level. This is the Lexus NX. with intuitive tech and our most advanced safety system ever.
Spokane's hottest music.
Break me for so done with you, girl. I've been popping, man, I feel just like a rock star.
Hot 96.9.
Monday, May 8th. 6 all-time greats.
What is Grit?
Who's Caro?
What is Mean Girls?
One incredible tournament. Who will be crowned the first ever Jeopardy Masters champion?
Bring it.
Bring it.
Don't bring it.
Jeopardy Masters starts Monday, May 8th on ABC.
Join us for jackpots, food, and fun at Mystiqua Casino Hotel. The more you play, the more entries you can earn in our Mo Money prize drawings. Earn your share of over $18,000 in prizes and cash. Drawings start at 6 p.m. Saturday, April 29th. Fun Club players could win grand prize bundles, including a riding lawnmower, leaf blower, weed whacker, and a self-propelled lawnmower. Learn more at Mystiqua.com.
With prices of natural gas and propane skyrocketing, your heating bill is getting out of control. But before you turn down the heat, give the experts at Bill's Heating and Air a call. They have the latest in dual fuel technology to keep your family comfortable and utility bills low. And there's never been a better time to upgrade because now every furnace purchase comes with a free AC or heat pump. So call Bill's Heating today to get your free heat pump while supplies last.
We love to save you green.
Well, after a month of practice, the Washington State Cougars wrapped up their spring ball over the weekend with the annual Crimson and Gray game. And that is going to be the last we see of the Cougs for the next 3.5 months as classes are starting to wrap up and summer break is upon us. But that doesn't mean we can't look ahead to fall and showcase a couple of the breakout players on this Wazoo squad. The star of the spring game was easily wide receiver DT Sheffield. The transfer from Northwest Mississippi Community College had a couple of huge plays in the first half, including a long touchdown pass from Cam Ward as he looks primed to be the #1 target in the fall. And Ward himself believes Sheffield can bring a presence to that slot position that wasn't there last season.
Well, me and Cam just started getting a better chemistry because I just started running with the ones because at first I didn't know the offense, but now I know the offense pretty better. So yeah, me and him been locked in ever since.
DT just brings a different dynamic to this team, and today wasn't even his best day. I'm going to be honest with you. We know how much more DT's going to get with us once he gets in the film room. So, DT's a big addition to our room.
But in order for Cam Ward to make those throws downfield, he's going to have to stay upright. And that's where the offensive line comes into play. Coach Clay McGuire brings in a retooled and massive O-line led by 6'7" transfer S.A. Pole, the brother of former Coug Tony Pole. He didn't even start playing football until junior college, but he's going to be a critical position at filling that tackle role and in charge of protecting Ward's blind side.
The brotherly love that we have off the field, always spending time together, and the hours we spend just sitting next to each other. We want to block for each other. We want to work together, and then the connection we have with Cam Ward, it just adds more to that, and it's like we want to block for him. It's like we're not doing it for our job, we're doing it for our brothers next to us.
And staying with Washington State, there are currently 10 former Cougs in the NFL right now, but by this weekend, that number is going up to 11 as linebacker Deion Henley is set to hear his name selected in the upcoming NFL draft. Most mocks have him going somewhere between the 2nd and 3rd rounds. In his lone season in Pullman, Henley put up a combined 106 tackles with 4 sacks and 3 forced fumbles. And one potential landing spot for Henley is the Seattle Seahawks, who have 10 picks in the upcoming draft, including 2 in the first round, as they own picks number 5 and 20, and it's anyone's guess who they could go with. They do need some help on the defensive line, but on the other side of the ball, quarterback Geno Smith, he isn't getting any younger, and it may be a good time to invest in the future. Still, head coach Pete Carroll and general manager John Schneider are keeping the plans tightly sealed, even inside the building.
Right now, we're gonna have the coaches coming in, so we're still gonna be, fine-tuning some things. So by the time we get to, Tuesday, Wednesday, the draft room becomes much more off limits,
And don't forget, KXLY ABC is your home for the 2023 NFL Draft starting on Thursday evening and running all weekend long. And the first home playoff game in Seattle Kraken history was spoiled on Saturday night as the Colorado Avalanche pulled away in the third period to win 6-4 and take a 2-1 series lead. Now the Kraken face what is essentially a must-win game tonight, and they know they've got to be able to finish these games stronger than they have been all series long.
Just from the first 2 games and when I saw Game 3, I think there were some times where we just had a few lapses that I think, are easy to be cleaned up. We've touched on it. After every game, we've cleaned a few things up here and there. So I think it's just about putting those things together and come out and competing in Game 4.
And puck drop between Seattle and Colorado is coming up in just a few minutes as we'll have highlights later on Nightside. 4 News Now. We'll be right back.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
Why not have the bath of your dreams? With Bath Planet, you can once again relax and enjoy the beauty of your new shower and bath. Our custom-built baths and showers will forever change the way your bathroom looks.
Call today for a free in-home consultation.
When I was told I had a brain tumor, my life disappeared in a moment. I feared for my future, but even more, I feared for the ones I love. How would they move on without me? But when my doctor told me about the Gamma Knife of Spokane, everything changed. I can get my brain tumor treated in just 1 day and continue living the life I love. Because of Gamma Knife, I have hope.
Working in the trades and making a living wage isn't talked about enough. That's why members of Associated Builders and Contractors and the East Valley School District are hosting Trades Night on Wednesday, May 3rd. The community and all school districts are invited to attend and see what careers in trades might offer, from welding and framing to heavy equipment operation and more. You can talk with experts in their fields of work and find out why they chose construction. Visit the ABC website for more information and check out the Construction Trades Night sponsors for Wednesday, May 3rd.
I just don't think STCU could handle us. We've grown a lot.
Can I be frank with you? Not just because that's my name. Now, we've upgraded our tools, team, and bring a fresh perspective.
So what's your pitch?
Slow down a bit. Growth's great, but uncontrolled growth, now that can be dangerous.
And how could growth be bad?
You ever seen a 6-foot-tall third grader sitting on Santa's lap? It's weird.
This is some sort of reverse psychology.
You can't drive 80 miles per hour down a highway that's not finished. You don't want to eat a grilled cheese.
I would have stopped at the first one.
I didn't know where I was going with that anyways.
I get your point, but I don't need STCU to help us slow down.
True, but we're happy to offer strategy and advice until you do need us. Sometimes, what's best for you doesn't boost our bottom line.
Sounds like STCU actually cares.
We do. All right, 3, 2, 1. Feel like we've had a breakthrough here today. STCU Business. Partner up.
Why not have the bath of your dreams? With Bath Planet, you can once again relax and enjoy the beauty of your new shower and bath. Our custom-built baths and showers will forever change the way your bathroom looks.
Call today for a free in-home consultation.
4 News Now is brought to you by Washington Trust Bank.
Ludacris is coming to Northern Quest on September 16th. Tickets go on sale this Friday, though, and I bet they're going to go fast. For information, including a link and furious. Oh, man, it's the end of the show. Steven, our producer, is going to kick us off. Hey, if you want tickets, look for the story on KXLY.com.
And coming up tonight on Nightside, new evidence suggests fried foods aren't just bad for your physical health, they might be bad for your mental health as well.
Also, an 8-year-old girl lost her life in a house fire blamed on a lithium-ion battery charging an e-scooter. After dozens of fires this year and 5 deaths, some New York State senators are pushing for federal safety guidelines. We'll have more on Nightside.
And we're keeping an eye on some much warmer temperatures. Should get a new round of computer models that will give you an update on what we're expecting later this week. Either way, it is going to be some toasty weather. I don't think anyone's going to complain, though.
No, I've heard couple of my family members took the covers off the pool.
Oh, yeah. That's a bold move.
Yeah, it is bold. I thought the same
It's a little
thing.
early, man.
I've heard about snow in June, so I'm a little nervous about that.
I mean, you mentioned earlier a lot of people breaking out the shorts. Might want to break out the tanning lotion.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app. See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.